So as it was being discussed before that depending on the different numbers of the cell processes that the neuron they process, depending on that they are either called apolar, which does not have any process at all, unipolar, which has one single process which is the axon with it, or the bipolar, which will have two cell processes, one the axon and the one the dendron with it. The most famous one that we are quite familiar with will be the multipolar neuron, in which there will be numerous dendron region along with one single long axon that is there. This is the composition that we normally see. This is the structure that we normally have studied a lot when we have studied the structure of the neuron, and this is mostly the one that comprises our entirety of the peripheral nervous system and also majority of the central nervous system, because the types of them they are present in different location at different particular depending on their purpose they are being made into different region. They can be found in different region with particular nature of their own. For instance, like the unipolar can be found inside the brain in the cerebellum region. Some of them the cells which are responsible and the neuron which are responsible for sending out the signal from the brain directly to a certain place, that is where we find this unipolar type of neuron to be present, because the purpose of axon is only to transmit signal from the cell body to a certain place. So this is only capable of transmitting any signal, not receiving it, because the major receiving terminal will be the cell process with the dendron, because dendron has got the receptor, the specific receptor to catch the signal from adjacent neuron or maybe some receptor cells, and then finally transmit the signal via the long axon with it. Now in this particular structure we can find that there are numerous dendron that are arranged right here, each and every one of them capable of receiving signal from a specific particular type of receptor cells, tissues, maybe another neuron, whatever, and all of them are going to transmit the signal via, after a bit of processing within the cell cell body, it will be transmitting the signal to the other cell, maybe a tissue system also, it doesn't matter, but anywhere in the body via this terminal region of the long axon. Now the axon is actually the lengthiest part of the entire neuron. It can stretch up to a meter in length, because that is the longest found cell in human body, where the neuron, it actually is found to it was found to be extended a meter long, and the entire structure is made such a way that it can actually transmit the signal. Now whenever we are talking about transmission of signal between cells, means maybe a receptor to the neuron or neuron to neuron or from neuron to any other cell, whatever type of transmission we are talking about, always the transmission will be via chemical. That means this region will have a receptor cells or receptor proteins, sorry, which will be responsible for receiving those chemical signal. So here we will find chemical signal is being received, and then there will be a cascade of transmission of that signal through this entire cell that will take place. Now that will be elaborated on the while teaching chapter of or while discussing the chapter of chemical control and coordination, where we will learn about the signal transduction process of how a cell receives the signal and then transmit it furthermore. So that will be discussed on that particular chapter, but here the most important process of transmission of signal that we will be discussing here will be the transmission of signal via the entire axon, and that happens electrically. Okay, means here the chemical will be received, means a chemical signal will be received by the cell, then electrical signal will be generated right here, and then it will be again followed up via chemical signal, because cells can intercommunicate only via chemicals, but the neuron can transmit the signal in electrical mean. It has a process which will be discussed in a later class. And at the moment just is like this entire in a brief we can actually say like that entire axon, it has the capacity of changing the polarity, and certain spot, you can say that it has the capacity to change the polarity of the membrane, which is like completely controlled uh, polarization and depolarization process, actually depolarization and repolarization process rather, which will be taking place right here, where the charge will be altered, and depending on that, this entire like axon will transmit a signal in a very rapid manner, representing just like that of an electrical signal. This is what makes the neural signal, means the signal passing to the neuron, the neural signal, somewhat very fast, because electrical current they transmit or they move through the wire, conductive wire, in a very high speed, and the same speed has been noticed to be there with the neuron. So a signal passing from the tip of the neuron to the end, from one end to another end, even if it is a meter long, it will be within a fraction of a second. That's why we find that any reaction whatever is generated in our body, which is mediated by the neuron, let's say, it is very fast, it is always fast in comparison to that of the signal which will be transmitted via chemical. And for that particular reason, it can be noticed that in the case of the signal that will be passed down here, means right here, which will be receiving this part, which is receiving the signal, then processing it further down here, it will be found that that signal, it is comparatively slower, means whatever time it takes, at times is taken right here, though the neuron is made such a way that the signal that will be received here, it will be very like in a rapid manner, it will be processed and the signal will be passed down via that particular channel. Now for that reason, the axon hylux are actually made such a way to help in the transition of the signal. The entire electrical conductivity happens through the membrane of the axon, definitely, but this axon helic is actually responsible in generating that entire process via little chemical changes that are occurring right here. Now finally, when we are talking about the structure of the neuron, now this type of neuron that we normally see, this is actually the base structure of the neuron that we normally will find in our body. But the majority of the neuron that our body's peripheral neural nervous system that it composes of, or even the the neuron which is there present in the central nervous system, many of the places in the spinal cord and in the brain also, are majorly having one specific layer on top of this this entire axon, we can say. So if I want to show you that layer, then first and foremost, let us just make a small diagram here showing the structure of the, like, this is, let's say this is the axon, okay, pardon the diagram, but this is let's say this is the axon, okay. Now in this axon, we'll find that on top of this axon there will be a layers of a particular deposit that will be there found, just layers, means deposition of particular substance in layer, okay. It will be rough, it is not necessarily that it will be very smooth layer, it can be a little rough, that's why even my diagram also I am making it slightly rough. All right, so this layer can be found on top of the main neuron. So let's say this is actually the axon, this entire darkened portion is the axon, okay. So on top of this axon, we are going to find that it has these layers of this particular substance, which is majorly lipid and protein, and this layer of substance is what is known as the, sorry, spelling is wrong, myelin sheaths, okay. So myelin sheaths means each and every of the layer is one sheath, and this entire thing is made up of this lipid protein compound which is known as a myelin, so they are called the myelin sheath, okay. The interior being the axon cross section. So what does it look like externally, if you want to observe it from externally, if you want to observe, then it will look somewhat like this. So this is the axon, okay, and right there on top of it we are going to find that this layers of myelin sheath is going to be present. Oh, I was not aware that it was off focus, so it's just layers. Achalo, I'll make one more layer then for you. See this layer, this many layers of this myelin sheath will be there on top. Okay, so myelin sheath will be made something like that way. Now for the myelin sheath to be present like that, okay, let's make the entire diagram slightly more appealing, I guess. So this will be our axon, right, and these are the myelin sheaths. All right, so this myelin sheath is actually this like myelin component, it is being layered on top of it, but it is not going to come all by itself. There's definitely something which is responsible for the secretion of the myelin on top of it, and that something will be, let's try it with another color pen. This something will be a specific type of cell that can be found covering that particular layer. Okay, and this cell that we will find here covering this layer, this is like a thin layer of this cell that will be like, this is actually very tiny mononucleated like cell. Okay, well, most of the cell are mononucleated, right? So this mononucleated cell that will be found on top of it, which is responsible for secretion of this particular layer. Okay, this cell is what is known as the Schwann cell. SCHWANN, the Schwann cell. Okay, this one. This is what is known as the Schwann cell. Not only the Schwann cell, but again, I should have made the diagram such a way that I can draw both the pictures. So I'll write a tiny one now. The axon layer, the myelin sheaths, they are again secreted by another type of cell, okay. So let's darken this entire axon so that it can be differentiated separately, and the myelin sheaths will be like that. Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's make the entire thing in a red shade, that we can distinguish the two cells. So we may find like the entire Schwann cell to be there covering it like that way, or a different kind of cell which is like there present, which is forming the layer and is actually the one responsible for formation of that layer of myelin sheath also. Now that will be found there. Okay, and this layer, this particular cell, this another cell which is there, this one is called an oligodendrocyte. Okay, it's called an oligodendrocyte. Now oligodendrocytes are responsible for formation of this particular like Schwann cell. It's responsible for formation of this this myelin sheaths on top of the axon. Now the purpose of myelin sheath is to give this axon a little bit of protection. That is the first purpose. Okay, the second purpose that it serves is actually it helps in transmission of the signal via the means axon. This because the axon is the one responsible for transmission of the signal, right? And myelin sheath helps in that particular process. Rather, it actually it helps in the transition in maintaining such a kind of condition that the transmission of the signal can be a bit faster. It has been noticed that this particular myelinated neurons have a little bit faster signal transition. Then the third purpose that it actually serves is that by any chance if there is any damage in the axon layer, it is noticed that this myelin sheath is capable of repairing the damage. Maybe some way a small damage has occurred. Okay, so it has been noticed that this myelin sheath sometimes it actually is responsible for clearing that particular damage also. Now this particular type of protection, it is given by the myelin sheath, but the myelin sheath, it needs to be produced, it needs to be synthesized right there by another cell, because the neuron is not capable of making that. Okay, and that's why we are going to find this specific type of cells, this Schwann cells or the oligodendrocytes, to be there linked with the this neurons, okay, which is responsible for production of the myelin sheath on top of the axon layer. And this type of cells are what is known as the glial cells. They are known as the glial cells. Okay, and or sometimes they are called the neuroglia. So these cells are present in large quantity in our entire nervous system. Means wherever we find our nervous system exists, we will find there will be any one of the type of the glial cells are present. Rather, they actually made up the maximum percentage of our weightage of our brain. Okay, means the central nervous system that we talk about, it is major component is actually the glial cells, not the neural cells. Okay, and there is a very unique thing that the glial cell is responsible for the protection of the all the neural cells. It is responsible for nourishment of the neural cells. It is responsible for repairing of any damage, if any, in the neural cells. Okay, I said that minor damages can be repaired by this particular type of cells. And finally, it has the property of mitosis, which is not there in the neural cells. Okay, these cells are capable of undergoing mitosis, mitotic division, and can increase its number as per requirement. Schwann cells are found usually like covering the entirety of the means it can be found covering here all the entire surface. Okay, numerous of the Schwann cells are there covering it, and each and every of the like neurons or the like Schwann cells are going to produce the myelin sheaths on top of it, and will form a layer of myelin on top of this, like the axon. And finally that will, as I said, it will help in the conduction of the signal and all. Now there is one particular thing it will be noticed that the myelin sheath is not a continuous process. Okay, it doesn't cover the entirety of the structure all through and out through and through. So there can be a little bit of gaps present in between them. There are small places where there are small gaps that can be noticed. Those area are what is known as the node of the Ranvier. Okay, again that is how I pronounce, so that I can write the spelling without any fault. So node of Ranvier. Okay, so node of Ranvier are those particular regions where we'll find there is a less percentage of myelin sheath. Either there will be a very tiny layer of myelin sheath present there or none. And it is uniquely, like it will be noticed around the entire structure of the axon. So that is how the entire axon will be arranged. And the signaling between the as I said, the signaling will be actually like that is an arrangement. It is like through and throughout there will be electrical signal that will be passing down through the entire of the axon. And while we are talking about the terminal region, the terminal region will have somewhat like this kind of arrangement. I'll just make a small rough diagram so that you can understand. So the terminal bulbs are really like the bulb like structure, right? So what will be seen there inside is that it actually has a large number of small vesicles. which are produced definitely by the Golgi apparatus that is present inside. Okay, so there will be Golgi apparatus found in this particular region. So these Golgi apparatus are producing the small vesicles, right? These vesicles are called the synaptic vesicles, and it is actually responsible for secretion of the specific chemical known as the neurotransmitters. Okay, so neurotransmitters are those specific chemicals though that are produced by this particular type of cells. All right, and they're just being secreted by exocytosis, as you can see right here. Whenever a signal is coming here down here, and there is actually another mechanism also that exists. I'll discuss that in a different class. Now that particular signal that is coming down, it will be received by the dendron. As I said, it will be received by, so right here I'm actually just showing you the structure of the dendron and all. Right, it is possible with all other type of, like the cells which are responsible for, or the cells which actually can take the signal. Okay, each and every other cell will be will have this particular type of receptors on its surface. So there will be receptors on the surface of the cell. These all are neuroreceptors. Okay, means the neurochemical transmitter that are there. So these are the receptors for those. And the chemical, the moment this chemical will come and bind right here, means this neurochemical whatever is being secreted here, the moment it will come and bind here, immediately the signal is passed down through the dendron. So this is actually the synaptic knob. All right, and this is the dendron. So this is the dendron, and right there between this gap that we see, this gap is what is known as, I'll write it here, the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft, this particular gap that we see here. Okay, and it is through this synaptic cleft that the transmission of the signal is majorly taking place. This junction is what is known as the synapse between the two adjacent neuron, or consecutive neuron, we can say. Like this is one neuron ending and this is another neuron beginning, because neuron, they transmit signal from one particular neuron to another neuron, and then finally the effector organ where the signal is supposed to reach. So that is how the neurons are one after another, they are connected, and this is how the communication actually takes place. The neurochemical transmitter that we are talking about here, the examples can be acetylcholine, the most common one that actually can be found everywhere. Every places of our body will find majorly this acetylcholine chemical, it majorly secreted. Alternatively, we can find that serotonin is there, or within the brain we may find some dopamine are also being secreted. Sometimes there are something called gamma amino butyric acid, or GABA in short. These things are also there, so they all can act. Even as an alternative, sometimes it has been noticed that cyclic adenosine monophosphate can also play the role of neurochemical transmitter, though it is mostly that it is the acetylcholine which is responsible for transmission of the signal mostly. Okay, so that is how, like, every single neurochemical transmitters are like the way they actually transmit the signal. This is the chemical signal that it transmits from one neuron to another, or within the neuron to another effector cells. So now the rest of the topic of how the transmission actually takes place, how the entire information is being passed down, everything what actually happens to the electrical signal transition, that will be discussed on a different video. Right, thank you.